Hello, it is Ryan, and I was on a flight the other day playing one of my favorite social spin slot games on ChumbaCasino.com. I looked over at the person sitting next to me, and you know what they were doing? They were also playing Chumba Casino. Coincidence? I think not. Everybody's loving having fun with it. Chumba Casino is home to hundreds of casino-style games that you can play for free anytime, anywhere, even at 30,000 feet. So sign up now at ChumbaCasino.com to claim your free welcome bonus. That's ChumbaCasino.com and live the Chumba life.
No purchase necessary. VGW. Void where prohibited by law. See terms and conditions. 18+.
Hey, yo! Hey, shh. Calm down. The show is about to start. Reese on the radio. Turn it up. Turn it up low. Turn it up loud.
It's like a dream come true.
Turn on your radio. Reese is on the radio.
Yo, let's get it.
Due to the nature of this program, discretion does not exist. It's Reese on the radio. Right now on WTIC News Talk 1080.
All right, what's going on, all you scallywags out there? You know what time it is. It's time for the Reese on the Radio Rundown, our Sunday edition of the weekday show. Hope you guys had a wonderful weekend. Hope that it was productive. Got to relax. Hope you got to do that too. Reese on the Radio went to the zoo. And I can't even tell you. I can't even begin to tell you. I don't understand it. I get why kids go. But the kids that were there didn't seem interested. I'll talk about that at another time. It's just so. I realize something about going to the zoo. We'll talk about it. Trust me, I want to talk about it so badly right now, but I got to wait for the rest of the show. We got other news and other views. Apparently, there's a ridiculous trend out there with men that's on TikTok, and it has taken the interwebs by storm. I just want to say to my male friends out there, if you have my number, lose it. Lose my number right now. Don't bother to call. Don't ever bother to call me or text me. Just lose my number. Because if you guys decide on this trend, it's better if you don't have my number so you don't do it to me. Okay? And I will never do it to you. You don't have to worry about me. Anyway, we'll get into that as well. We'll talk a little bit about what Mark Halperin said about the Democrat Party. Well, pretty much what the news media has to do to get its credibility back in light of Original Sin, the Jake Tapper, Alex Thompson book. And we'll talk a little bit about what he said as well. I do want to talk about the most unpopular mayor in American history. He's got to be. If there was another mayor, I'm not even going to bother to look it up. There's just no way that there was a mayor this unpopular in history. And it's none other than Brandon Johnson, the mayor of Chicago. I thought you couldn't get worse than a Lori Lightfoot. But apparently people in Chicago were begging for her to... No, I'm kidding. They're not begging for her to come back. That's insane. But I guess they found a way to get worse. This guy has a 7% approval rating in Chicago. 7%. By the way, that's up from 6% last month. He's actually improving. You could call it that. 7% approval rating. That's far underwater. And this guy's talking about it. He's on the news like he's catching fire. You know, like this guy, he's knocking it out the park day in and day out. I don't get it, and people are talking to him like he's relevant. There's been an investigation into him. I think that's the crux of this, is that the news media is so disingenuous and just so one-sided. MSNBC, Jen Psaki, she had him on her show to talk about how insane it is that the Trump administration is investigating him for hiring people based upon race, while he's bragging about hiring people based on their race. And because of, he's openly on camera talking about it, and MSNBC has him on like saying, you're being targeted by this racist, bigoted administration. And what were you being targeted for? Racism and bigotry. And it's unheard of.
You know, the only thing that the mayor talks about is the hiring of black people. No, what I'm saying is when you hire our people, we always look out for everybody else. We are the most generous people on the planet. I don't know too many cultures that have play cousins. That's how generous we are. We just make somebody a family member, right? That's just how we are.
Listen to what he said to Jen Psaki on her MSNBC show about his city and why it is ridiculous for anybody to mess with them. Because again, as Brian puts it, was it Brandon? Brandon. As Brandon puts it, he has the most diverse administration in Chicago's history.
I'm very proud that I have a group of incredibly talented, highly qualified, diverse Chicagoans. We have the most talented, diverse administration in the history of Chicago. My administration clearly reflects the country, while the president's administration reflects the country club.
I mean, just sit there and nod your head, Jen Psaki. Of course he does. Let's see exactly how diverse Brandon Johnson's administration is.
The deputy mayor is a black woman. Department of Planning and Development is a black woman. Infrastructure deputy mayor, black woman. Chief operations officer, black man. Budget director, black woman. Senior advisor, black man.
Oh, yeah, this guy is knocking it out of the park. Who am I to talk? Yeah, this guy's serious. He said he has the most diverse and represents America. This guy, black, that woman, black, this person, black, that person, black. Diverse, he says. I don't think that these idiots know what that word means. And I guess they're taught to believe that diverse means their race. And as long as there are no white folks in there. Maybe diverse means no whites. Maybe that's what it means. At least that's what I can't wait until they drag his dumb ass to court. I can't. I hope they allow cameras in the courtroom. Or at least I would hope they would. But that's what this guy is trying to pull off as diverse.
The deputy mayor is a black woman. Department of Planning and Development is a black woman. Infrastructure deputy mayor, black woman. Chief operations officer, black man. Budget director, black woman. Senior advisor, black man.
I mean, even his black constituents do not support him. No, is there a recall effort? Anything? Why isn't this man in handcuffs? It's everything he does is just horrible for the city of Chicago. It's insane what's going on there. So, yeah, that's his words, not mine. He's got a diverse cabinet, the most diverse ever.
I'm very proud that I have a group of incredibly talented, highly qualified, diverse Chicagoans. We have the most talented, diverse administration in the history of Chicago. My administration clearly reflects the country, while the president's administration reflects the country club.
And Jen Psaki there, nodding along with him, talking about how diverse his cabinet. I don't know. And it's insane. It's insane to watch. It's insane to listen to. It's insane as it happens. At least now I have some comfort that this isn't going to be taken anymore. I have some comfort in that these people are finally going to pay. They're going to be brought to justice. They're going to be made to answer for this wrongdoing. I can't wait. Maybe my problem is that I want it to happen too fast. I can't be patient. I'm a need it now, want it now kind of guy. But it's going to happen. It's got to happen. Yesterday, I want to sit back and relax a little bit. But, yeah, 7% approval rating. And he's on MSNBC, not once asked about it. Not once even asked, why do the people of Chicago hate you so much? Donald Trump gets a 44% approval rating, and the news media goes wild. This guy, 7%. Crickets. It's insane. But there it is. We'll come back. More news, more views when we return. It's Reese on the radio on NewsTalk 1080 WTIC.
The hour that packs a punch. It's Reese on the radio on WTIC News Talk 1080.
All right, we're back. It's Reese on the radio, News Talk 1080 WTIC. And I have got to tell men out there, I pray that you are not letting your loved ones do this to you. Do not do this internet thing with your buddies. It's just not appealing. We've already got a problem.
Ryan Seacrest here. When you have a busy schedule, it's important to maximize your downtime. One of the best ways to do that is by going to ChumbaCasino.com. Chumba Casino has all your favorite social casino games like spin slots, bingo, and solitaire that you can play for free for a chance to redeem some serious prizes. So hop on to ChumbaCasino.com now and live the Chumba life. Sponsored by Chumba Casino.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 21 plus. Terms and conditions apply.
With manliness and I don't know, just manhood in general. This is another attempt to feminize us. Just don't fall for it. Do not. If you haven't heard this, men, and I'm only telling you because I'm warning you, not because I've actually tried this or anybody tried it on me. And if you are told to, I don't care who it is, brother, I got your back. But if your family tells you or convinces you, hey, you know what would be funny? Call Reese up right now and tell him good night and sweet dreams. Don't just look at whomever it is right in the face, wife, daughter, child, whomever, who thinks that you would be the life of the party at the house, that they would love you and adore you. Dad, it would be so hilarious. I want you to look at that child, that individual, whomever it is in your house. I want you to look right at him right now. And I want you to say, you are a mental patient. And I think that you should seek help. Don't you ever ask me to do something as ridiculous as to call one of my male friends and tell him good night and sweet dreams. Don't you ever think that a part of our relationship suggests that I would be the person who has done that. Now, I know that there are some men out there who think it's cute. Don't. You are cooler than TikTok. You are cooler than these ridiculous trends. Hell, you are cooler than your ridiculous teenage kids who want you to partake in this ridiculous experiment. Don't do it. Don't do it to yourself. On the opposite side, men, should you get this phone call, you might. I don't know who you are and where you are, but if you get this phone call, I want you to tell your friend, lose your number. If you're a part of the club or some sort of club together, maybe you play fantasy football or fantasy baseball, tell them that they are being kicked out immediately, that all their privileges are being revoked. You are in a country club with this individual, maybe a golfing club. You are to get a petition of your real male friends and have this person excommunicated from said club. If there is a carpool of workers who go to work together, this person who called you is no longer allowed. They must be forced to take public transportation, an Uber or cab. Whatever it is, they must be removed, excised from your circle. What else could I possibly? Oh, yeah. Let me see. Aside from the people, let me see. I got the person who made the phone call, right? Oh, yeah. If you are one who has made this phone call, I didn't address you yet. Yes, if you are the person who has made this phone call, I want you to sit down right now. Have a seat. Sit down. You are weak. You got played, and you deserve everything that's coming to you. Everything. The ridicule, the snarkiness. In fact, if one of your friends makes you get a tattoo of shame, you must get it. You must get it. and you must get it in the most embarrassing place on your body, perhaps your lower back, like a tramp stamp of sorts. But nonetheless, you should pay for it. You must pay for it. And if they allow you back in their group, when you show up for beers or show up at the foursome to go play golf, whatever it may be, when you show up, you must be forced to show it to strangers at whatever establishment it is. And you must explain the back tat. You have to do it. We have to bring this shame back so that no man ever falls for a ridiculous TikTok, Instagram, Twittering, Facebooking silliness that the kids are trying to get them to do. You do not need to be cool. You do not. You are cool. Do you understand that? Men, no one has told you that. You are cool. You go to work. You earn a living. You keep a roof over people's heads. You put people through school. Huh? You put second mortgages out on home. You drive places. You go to games. You buy equipment. You turn these kids into superstars. You're a hero. Do you understand that? You don't need to be cool with some stupid and ridiculous TikTok trend. Don't do it to yourself. Call up another man and say good night, sweet dreams. You know what you should be doing? You should be calling up your friend and say to him, hey, remember the $100 I borrowed from you for beer? I'm going to get that back to you this week. Or, hey, I'm returning the lawnmower. Or the, soldering iron. Whatever it is you borrowed from your buddy, get that back to him. That's the phone call you need to make to him. That's it. That's the only conversation you need to be having when you get on the phone with your friend. And when you do call your friend on the phone, it should be, something that men can appreciate. Who threw the last pitch of the World Series in 1982? Who was the reliever on the Miracle Mets of 1986? It's Jesse Orozco. But the point is, you need to call up your friend about things that matter. Huh? How much torque do you need on a wrench to remove a lug nut? Whatever, things like that. Huh? Whether or not it'll help you fix your man cave. Does he have a set of jumper cables? Any extra spark plugs? Men need to be men. They don't do this anymore. Someone tells you to call up your friend and say, good night, sweet dreams. Do I sound obsessed? I am. This is embarrassing. It's a sad state. And by the way, kids, I haven't said this to you. If you're listening, leave dad alone. Leave dad alone. Dad, the fact that dad needs to be cool in your eyes means that you wore that poor man out. You've worn him down. He is beaten. He is battered. He is bruised. If he's even trying one of these ridiculous TikTok pranks, it's because you've beaten him to submission. All he wants from you is to know that you care. That's why he's doing that silliness. That's why he's succumbed to your foolishness. Because deep down he just wants to know that everything he's done has been right and good in your interest. So don't embarrass dad by filming him calling up his friends saying nighty night and sweet dreams. Go up to dad. Father's Day's coming up. Go up to dad and say, thank you. Make dad a sandwich, maybe. Bring him a beer or a drink if he doesn't. Anything. Just say, hey, dad, thanks, man. Don't call him bruh, though, either. Just say, thanks, man. Thanks, dad. You rock. And keep it moving. And get back to your silly little TikTok trends that you do on your own. Stop embarrassing dad. He's had enough. He's worked real hard. I'm looking out for you, dads. I'm looking out for you. It's Reese on the radio on NewsTalk 1080 WTIC.
Reese on the radio, making sense of the news. Yeah, even when it makes no sense at all. Now on WTIC, News Talk 1080.
All right, we're back. Reese on the radio, News Talk 1080 WTIC. I was going through X, Twitter, as it's formerly known, and Mark Halperin has been somebody I've been paying attention to a lot lately. His show's been actually pretty good. It's called Two Way. And Mark Halperin, I guess I can say he used to be very liberal, MSNBC guy, much of a Trump hater back in 2015, 2016. But then when he saw his career kind of go up in smoke due to some harassment allegations while he was at MSNBC, he went on and did his own thing. And his Two-Way podcast is very successful. And he's sort of turned it around and got back into the fold. And his podcast is very, very well liked, well received.
It is Ryan Seacrest here. There was a recent social media trend which consisted of flying on a plane with no music, no movies, no entertainment. But a better trend would be going to ChumbaCasino.com. It's like having a mini social casino in your pocket. Chumba Casino has over 100 online casino-style games, all absolutely free. It's the most fun you can have online and on a plane. So grab your free welcome bonus now at ChumbaCasino.com. Sponsored by Chumba Casino.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 21 plus. Terms and conditions apply.
And I like watching it. I wasn't really a big, I watched his, I think I read his book actually. What the heck was the name of it? I know his book was about the Obama, McCain, and Sarah Palin Game Change. That's the name of the book. I can't remember. Halperin was, I think, the guy he wrote it with. Anyway, so I remember him from there. So I've been watching it lately. And he has been very critical of Jake Tapper with regards to the new book, Original Sin, which is an in-depth look inside the Biden campaign and his cognitive decline. And Jake Tapper has not done well in sort of beating down critics of his coverage of the Biden administration while writing this book as a tell-all, because many people believe he spent years covering it up, which there's evidence to support. And now he hasn't been able to sort of square that circle that he was an outsider. He ignored it while everyone else was on it. In fact, it's fair to say that Jake Tapper is late to the game. Jake Tapper didn't start writing this or investigating this until after the election. And everyone else was talking about it years before. And while everybody was talking about it years before, Jake Tapper, as I said, was sort of swatting it away. He was a defender of Joe Biden. Now, get past all that. Mark Halperin is talking about how the news media is also having a reckoning with all of this, because now it's revealed that everybody knew what was going on, and now those people who were telling the behind-the-scenes scoop are openly saying, I can't believe the news media would buy the stuff that we were telling them. They were stenographers. And these are things, of course, that all of us have said in conservative talk and news and all that good stuff. The media is going to suffer from this while trying to tell everybody we didn't do anything, or telling everybody we didn't see it. It was a mystery to us. They're going to suffer the consequences. They have been suffering the consequences. Nobody can trust them anymore. So Mark Halperin came up with this list of things that the news media needs to do. I thought some of these were good. It's about 5 of them. But listen to them as he breaks them down. And I would say two of them, the news media will never be able to do. And that is, I think, the first one here. This is the first thing he thinks the news media should do.
A fulsome apology from the heads of news organizations to say, we get it. You think we're biased, and you think we're biased against Donald Trump because of our conduct. We're sorry. We apologize. We have to do better. I think that'd be helpful.
Trust me, you can stop screaming at the radio. I agree with you. There's no way the news media is going to do that. They're just not. That is taking ownership of their own mistakes. I'm with you. I'm just telling you what Mark Halperin said. I know. I could literally, my ears are ringing. I hear you screaming. They're never going to do that. I know. Here's what else he said.
What else needs to be done? Choose words carefully before you publish them. Look at every word and every paragraph and say, how fair is that? Are we writing about Donald Trump exactly the same way we would write about a Democratic president who did the same thing? And vice versa. Are we writing about the Democrats the way we would write about a Republican?
Now, that is truly a good idea. There should be an editor who goes over that and makes sure that the model of news that's coming out of the newsroom, be it newspapers, be it editorial pages, be it on television, that's what these editors should be finding out. It's like, would we talk about this, about a Democrat, as we are talking about it with the Republican or a conservative? That is important that they do that. I don't know if they can, but that would be a start. It would be a really good start.
Get the avowed liberals out of the newsroom. There are a lot of reporters who, in conversation, and I saw this when I worked, everywhere I worked in establishment media, people will say in private meetings, but in front of a lot of people, crazy liberal things that reflect obvious bias against conservatives and particularly against Donald Trump. Fire those people. Maybe give them a second chance, but if they're an avowed liberal, not just someone who leans left, you fire them. And if people say things, if you're in a leadership role in your newsroom and somebody says something that reflects systemic hostility towards the president of the United States who won the popular vote, call them on it. Don't just laugh or sit in silence about it.
Okay, he's a little pipe dreamy here. That's never going to happen inside the newsroom. I'm sorry. That's the unlikelihood right there is incredible. And it's crazy because the next point he makes is the reason why it's never going to happen in these newsrooms.
You've got to develop an economic model that will allow your organization to thrive by being fair. Right now, too many organizations, including ones who claim to not be biased, like Politico, like the New York Times, too much of their revenue is tied to catering to liberals. If that's what you want to be, if you want to be the Rachel Maddow show, then go all in on that. But if you're going to say to the public that you are reporting equally on Republicans and Democrats and that you're not biased against Donald Trump, you need to have a business model that will allow you to survive. So don't get addicted to the liberal audience unless that's your business model and you're proud doing that. If you don't want to be addicted to the liberal audience, you got to come up with something else. It's vital.
One of the biggest criticisms that is made about liberal media, places like Politico, New York Times, Washington Post, is that they don't appear to be writing for an audience. They appear to be writing for themselves. Those inside the news media. MSNBC reads their newspaper. The Fox News Channel reads their newspaper. They fashion their stories and their news hours based upon the articles of these newspapers. So, yeah, they have a business model that doesn't allow them to cover the news, as it were. And it's something we talk about here in Connecticut all the time. There's so many stories that they could be covering in the Hartford Courant, but they don't. And there's stories that would be compelling, that would make people buy the newspaper, but they refuse. And again, how do you survive under those conditions where no one's reading your paper? And it's usually because they're catering to somebody who is financing that liberal slant. And that's where the problem is. The last but not least piece is this one. And it goes back. I think it's all of this is associated with one being associated with the other, I should say. This is, again, right back to my point about what the newsroom should do and they're not doing. And that's covering the stories that are important. Mark Halperin even brought that up.
Go out in the country and talk to people. Donald Trump in 2016 and to this day talks about the families of people who were killed or attacked or harmed by people who are in this country illegally. I can't imagine a more compelling human interest story and an important story that is resonant for tens of millions of people, many of whom are Trump supporters, but some of whom are not. And I keep saying to people in the media, the dominant media, cover those stories. It's one example, but to me, it's an incredibly symbolically important one. Cover those stories. Explain the grief of those families. Explain the injustice that they feel to have lost a loved one or seen a loved one hurt by someone in the country illegally because the border wasn't secure.
I agree with him. I just don't think that it resonates to folks in liberal media. I think it falls on deaf ears. And we may just have to watch those publications crumble into nothingness, into irrelevance. That's what's going to happen. Because I'll tell you right at the bat, Donald Trump is definitely assisting with destroying these newspapers. Not just their credibility, their subscriptions, just their existence and people's trust in them. So, maybe they'll take it into consideration. Who knows? But I know that some of these folks are just too arrogant to do the right thing. So, there's that. When we come back, Reese on the radio goes to the zoo. Yeah, it's about what you expect. We'll be back. It's Reese on the radio, NewsTalk 1080 WTIC.
It's Reese on the radio. And don't say we didn't warn you on NewsTalk 1080 WTIC.
Despite the audio bumper, I did not go to the Brooklyn Zoo yesterday. I went to another zoo, and I'm not even going to promote them. It was an awful experience. It was god-awful.
Hello, it is Ryan, and I was on a flight the other day playing one of my favorite social spin slot games on ChumbaCasino.com. I looked over at the person sitting next to me, and you know what they were doing? They were also playing Chumba Casino. Coincidence? I think not. Everybody's loving having fun with it. Chumba Casino is home to hundreds of casino-style games that you can play for free anytime, anywhere, even at 30,000 feet. So sign up now at ChumbaCasino.com to claim your free welcome bonus. That's ChumbaCasino.com and live the Chumba life.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. See terms and conditions. 18+.
It was hot. It was far. And I walked a lot, and I'm tired. I'm still tired and annoyed. I didn't see anything that I liked. And what's the deal with butterflies? I'm not going to make a big deal out of it. I promised I would not make a big deal out of it. I feel like I want to, and I love my wife. Gosh, you heard me, shower her with accolades as I did on Friday. But it all comes at a price, ladies and gentlemen. Let me tell you this. I love her, but why she would want to go. Who likes the zoo? Who are these people? They were there. I saw the adults there, and I know this is something. I see this with the parents. Again, I'm going to sound so jaded, so cynical, and I get it. I know I'm not the best person in the world. Sometimes I fall short, and I get it. But this is one of those things that I know I'm right about. Okay, and guess what? You PETA folks and you animal activist groups, you may have an ally with me here. You may have an ally here. I don't get it. I went with my wife there. She wanted to go see these animals. We saw a bear. We didn't get to see the giraffes. It was too damn hot. Even they were holed up inside. They were like, no, we're from Africa. We were in the Africa section with African animals. And they were like, it's too damn hot outside. We're going inside in the shade. Like they naturally hang out in this heat. Africa heat. And they said no. They wouldn't even come out for us. What were we there for? I'll tell you what we were there for. Birds, buzzard, and poop. That's what we were there. That whole thing was poop. Smelled like poop. We watched birds poop. There's everywhere. That's all there was. Poop fest. And I don't get it. The parents who, I know why the parents do it, because they have kids. They go, let's go to the zoo. Let's spend $30 a head and go to the zoo and buy a $15 burger. Yeah, let's do that. And a $5, $6 drink. Twice. Because we're going to be there for enough time that they're going to eat lunch and dinner there, maybe. By the time it's all said and done, you've spent $200, maybe $300. And if it's just the three of you, mom, dad, the kid, yeah, quite likely $300 by the end of it. And what did you see? Nothing. The kids were not impressed. Every one of those kids didn't care. They didn't care. The parents, they were absolutely amazed at the stuff they saw. Look at the bird. Look at the crocodile. Look at the alligator. What's the difference between the alligator and the crocodile? They were all up in it. It was a big kid convention. The little kids were like, ew. Oh, they're scary looking. Couple of girls taking pictures. We were in this butterfly thing. Oh, let me tell you something. They're just colorful moths. Butterflies are not. I don't know what I know people think that they're pretty, but they're not. They are colorful moths. They are flying insects. That's it. I don't know what makes them different. I don't see them differently. But people do. And I'm not a fan. My wife, on the other hand, loved it. She was a little upset that I didn't enjoy it, but there are moments like that, but I don't think she really knows me. I'm not a zoo guy. Like, I'm not even an art gallery guy. And my wife would never go to an art gallery. But if she did, she's got to know that I'm going to be the guy crapping on the art. What is that, a dot? What is that, big giant black dot? Is that art? I could have done that. By the way, all of us guys do that, right? Yeah, I could have done that. That's actually kind of bad. That I feel bad even saying that. That's like crapping on somebody's hard work. But is it, though? Is it? Anyway, I'm off the beaten path here. I just don't get it. I don't get it. Everything I looked at. The most interesting thing that I did see, and it's only because I've never seen them up close, were the flamingos. That was actually pretty cool. But they were everywhere. And then after that, I wasn't interested anymore. Koi fish, so what? You can't eat them. Not that you would, but you can't. Well, I'm sure people do, but you can't. So it's pointless. Just look at a big fat fish that you can't eat. You can't even say, like, I was telling them 3 or 4 times, can I get that one? They kept telling me no. What's the purpose? I spent $35 to get in here. I don't even get a fish. Let me get a medium one. I did go see the kangaroos, which, by the way, that's another thing. This is a racket. This is the racket. They charge you to feed them. And we're talking like the kangaroos, $8 a pop to go in and feed the kangaroos. So I says to the lady, hey, it's $8 to go in there and feed them. How much to fight them? That was frowned upon, but I mean, it's worth it. I spent $35. There's no opportunity to fight a kangaroo. Who wouldn't go? They're kangaroo. There was a lot of them. And boy, did they look like they wanted to fight. Well, at least after I mentioned it. It was like when I said, hey, how much to fight them? There's a kangaroo popped his head up. It's like, I heard fight. But what guy? Come on. What guy wouldn't? If they're going to put on the little boxing gloves, maybe pad you up a little bit, so you don't get too harmed. But if they really want to make somebody, if they charge you $8 to feed them, come on, $20, 1 round. They'd make a killing. These guys they're not figuring it out. Do you understand? You sign a waiver. It's like when they make you sign the waiver for paintball, in case you lose an eye. Huh? You could lose an eye in paintball. You still let you do it. Kangaroo, what's the worst that could happen? He'd kick you in the chest. I think I'm on to something here. You guys, I don't know. I wasn't happy. They had a black bear there. I would not have fought. But if indeed they were offering, I'd have talked the guy into it. I wouldn't have done it. But I'd have probably paid for him to fight him. But I'm not talking about cruelty here. Don't get me wrong. I'm not talking about beating an animal. Let's make it fair. You know, what's the likelihood you're going to beat a bear? Right? It's an American bear, American black bear. It's definitely going to take it's not going to take a chunk out of you. And again, pad it up. I'm not saying go in there with, just your Wranglers on. Go in there with some equipment. That's all. And it's one round. What, 3 minutes? I'm telling you, the kangaroo. The girl, by the way, when I asked her about the kangaroo, she says, no, they're only female kangaroos. We don't take the male kangaroos here because they're very territorial and they might take you up on fighting. And I went, this is a jip. This whole thing's a scam. I'm just saying. I'm just saying, it's just, you want to make it interesting. I would have walked that whole zoo 4 times if you told me at the end of it, I get to fight a kangaroo. I'm just saying. I know I'm obsessing about the kangaroo, but I didn't expect to see one. I wasn't expecting that. Anyway, I got to get up out of here. We'll take a break. Well, we're not taking a break. We're going home. Yeah. It's time to get up out of here. Anyway, we'll see you guys on Monday. Don't forget, always go to resetontheradio.com for this program. Anytime you want to listen to it with limited commercial interruption. Transcripts are also there for the show. And send us a message by going to resetontheradio.com. That's REESE on the radio.com. As I always say, radio is free, so we thank you for paying attention. Remember to keep JC in your hearts and in your minds. Sean Patrick, we love you and we miss you. Remember that panic is not planning, so plan your work and work your plan. Me, I'm Reese on the radio. You have a good night, pleasant tomorrow. We'll see you back here on Monday, 3 p.m. on NewsTalk 1080 WTIC.
Hello, it is Ryan, and we could all use an extra bright spot in our day, couldn't we? Just to make up for things like sitting in traffic, doing the dishes, counting your steps, all the mundane stuff. That is why I'm such a big fan of Chumba Casino. Chumba Casino has all your favorite social casino-style games that you can play for free anytime, anywhere with daily bonuses. That should brighten your day a little. Actually, a lot. So sign up now at ChumbaCasino.com. That's ChumbaCasino.com.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. See terms and conditions. 18+.